Due to the fast-paced nature of contemporary society, stress has emerged as an ever-present factor that not only places mental strain, but also causes physical damage to the brain. The incessant pressures of the workplace and the intricacies of interpersonal connections are examples of stressors that elicit a series of physiological reactions that have the potential to significantly affect cognitive performance and psychological welfare. It is crucial to comprehend the manner in which stress depletes the brain in order to effectively manage its consequences and devise strategies that foster resilience and recuperation. This investigation examines the complex mechanisms through which stress impairs mental functioning, disturbs emotional balance, and jeopardizes cerebral well-being. We investigate the extensive effects of chronic stress on neural pathways and cognitive processes, which range from neurochemical imbalances to structural alterations in the brain. Nevertheless, despite the difficulties presented by tension, optimism remains. By adopting evidence-based strategies for stress management, fostering resilience, and promoting brain health via therapeutic modalities and lifestyle interventions, it is possible to reclaim emotional well-being and cognitive vitality as stress has eroded. Through the subsequent discussion, we shed light on the way to comprehend and confront the significant ramifications of stress on the brain, thereby enabling individuals to adopt proactive measures in their pursuit of resilience and recuperation. Let us further examine the impact of stress on the brain and investigate supplementary approaches to mitigate its depleting consequences. A more profound comprehension of the relationship between stress and brain function. 1. The disruption of neuroplasticity and neurogenesis. Prolonged stress hinders both neurogenesis and the brain's capacity for self-rewiring and adaptation, a process referred to as neuroplasticity. This phenomenon is vital for the processes of learning, memory consolidation, and injury or trauma recovery. Extended exposure to stress hormones such as cortisol may impede the processes that govern neuroplasticity, thereby impeding the development of fresh synaptic connections and the brain's ability to adjust to dynamic conditions. Consequently, individuals may encounter challenges in acquiring novel knowledge, maintaining recollections, and managing stressors in an efficient manner. Comprehending the complex dynamics that exist between stress and neuroplasticity underscores the significance of adopting measures to mitigate stress and foster resilience in order to protect cognitive performance and psychological welfare. 2. Inflammation and oxidative stress. The induction of inflammatory responses and the elevation of oxidative stress in the brain are consequences of stress. These processes can result in neuronal injury and a decline in cognitive function. The interference of inflammatory molecules, including cytokines, with synaptic function and intercellular communication in the brain, leads to manifestations such as cognitive impairment, lethargy, and dysregulation of mood. Prolonged inflammation and oxidative stress are factors that contribute to the progression and onset of neurodegenerative disorders, including Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. The comprehension of the ways in which stress influences inflammation and oxidative stress highlights the criticality of implementing lifestyle interventions and stress reduction techniques to alleviate these adverse consequences, enhance brain health, and diminish the likelihood of developing neurodegenerative disorders and cognitive impairment. 3. Hypoglycemia. Stress perturbs the complex hormonal equilibrium within the brain, leading to alterations in the concentrations of cortisol, adrenaline, serotonin, and dopamine. Mood, energy, and motivational fluctuations are all potential manifestations of this dysregulation, which may result in anxiety, depression, and fatigue, among other symptoms. Serotonin and dopamine dysregulation is of particular significance due to its strong correlation with addictive tendencies and mood disorders. The adverse effects of stress on mental health are exacerbated by these hormonal fluctuations, which establish a detrimental cycle of dysregulation and distress. 4. Structural alterations in the brain. According to structural imaging studies, chronic stress induces structural changes in the brain as evidenced by decreased volume in regions such as the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex. There is a correlation between these modifications and cognitive decline, affective dysregulation, and an increased susceptibility to psychiatric conditions. The hippocampus is particularly susceptible to injury caused by stress. A reduction in volume is associated with impairments in memory and an elevated risk of developing mental health conditions related to stress. The recognition of the structural ramifications associated with chronic stress emphasizes the critical nature of employing stress management techniques in order to safeguard cognitive function and avert the development of psychiatric conditions. Sophisticated approaches to stress management and cognitive well-being. 1. Biofeedback and neurofeedback. Biofeedback and neurofeedback are physiological monitoring and regulation techniques that enable users to observe and control physiological processes, including the variability of their heart rate. Cognitive behavioral therapy (CBT) is a prevalent psychotherapeutic technique that employs the identification and modification of maladaptive thought patterns and behaviors in order to alleviate distress. Cognitive behavioral therapy (CBT) facilitates the development of efficacious coping mechanisms and the construction of resilience in individuals by encouraging the adoption of exposure therapy and cognitive restructuring. By engaging in structured sessions under the guidance of a certified therapist, individuals acquire the ability to reframe their perceptions, confront their anxieties through a process of gradual exposure, and develop adaptive behaviors that enhance their capacity to manage stress. Cognitive behavioral therapy (CBT) places significant emphasis on skill development and active engagement, enabling clients to regain command over their thoughts and emotions while cultivating enduring resilience to the trials of life. Through the provision of instantaneous feedback regarding physiological reactions to stress, these modalities empower individuals to acquire self-regulation abilities and regulate their physiological reactions in order to alleviate stress and enhance their mental health. 2. Nutritional interventions. Specific dietary constituents are of paramount importance in promoting cognitive well-being and fortifying resistance to stress. Anti-inflammatory omega-3 fatty acids, which are found in abundance in fatty fish, flax seeds, and walnuts, may protect neurons from stress-induced injury. Foods abundant in antioxidants such as dark chocolate, leafy vegetables, and berries aid in the prevention of oxidative stress and the enhancement of cognitive function. By integrating these foods that are rich in essential nutrients into their dietary regimen, people can enhance the resilience of their brains against the adverse consequences of chronic stress. 3. Mind-body practices. Mind-body practices, such as acupuncture, qigong, and tai chi, offer comprehensive strategies for managing stress through the integration of mindful meditation, respiration control, and physical movement. The purpose of these practices is to facilitate the circulation of vital energy keyed across the entire body, reestablish equilibrium to the nervous system, and foster inner tranquility and fortitude in the face of adversity. Combining deep breathing and meditation techniques with delicate, flowing movements, qigong and tai chi assist in the release of tension, the improvement of posture, and the enhancement of mental concentration. In contrast, acupuncture employs the use of delicate needles to stimulate particular anatomical sites. This process restores energy equilibrium and fosters relaxation and emotional welfare. Through the integration of these mind-body practices into their daily regimen, individuals have the capacity to nurture a more profound correlation between their physical and mental selves, thereby augmenting their resilience and efficacy in managing stress. 4. Environmental modifications. The establishment of a nurturing and supportive environment has the potential to substantially alleviate the neurological effects of protracted stress. This encompasses the reduction of environmental stressors such as noise pollution, congestion, and excessive screen time, which should be prioritized alongside the creation of spaces that are conducive to relaxation, creative expression, and access to nature and natural light. Through the creation of surroundings that foster emotions of security, solace, and interpersonal bonding, people have the capacity to develop neuroplasticity and augment their psychological welfare. By integrating components of biophilic design, such as vegetation and organic materials, an environment can be cultivated that exudes serenity and a sense of unity with the natural world, thereby facilitating the alleviation of stress and restoration of cognitive function. Moreover, individuals can foster a sense of sanctuary in their living and working environments by implementing restrictions on technology usage and designating specific spaces for leisure activities and relaxation. This not only offers individuals a respite from the pressures of daily life, but also promotes the overall health and resilience of the brain. In closing, as we conclude our exploration of how stress drains the brain and strategies to combat its effects, it becomes clear that chronic stress poses significant challenges to cognitive function, emotional well-being, and brain health. From neurochemical imbalances to structural changes in the brain, the toll of stress on neural pathways is profound. However, amidst these challenges, there is hope. By taking proactive steps to manage stress and prioritize self-care, individuals can cultivate a thriving mind and thrive in the face of adversity. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more captivating content on our YouTube channel.